What's up, Single Talk family? Come on in this room, y'all. It is time. It is time for your single, I was going to say hour, but it is our single sessions. This is something that we look forward to every month where we get to talk about topics that are interesting, uh, funny, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of emotions that come when we're posting in the group. That's one of the things that I do love about the group. It's an opportunity for us to share our thoughts, our opinions in kind of a safe zone, right? And hopefully in kind of a fun way, not where we're tearing down people absolutely completely, but in a fun way. And we don't always get to do that. And actually, that is one of the reasons that I created this group. I'm a church girl to my core, right? And I've been to all kinds of singles groups at church. Anybody that knows that there's one thing that Brandy hates the most about the church single groups, and it's the bowling. Why do we all have to go bowling? Why do we have to go bowling? and the mixing of the ages, which again, I don't mind. Like, for instance, in a group like this, we have folks as young as 19 and as old as, or I should say, as seasoned as 67, right? So I don't mind the intergenerational camaraderie, but when it comes down to it, we're all, those of us that are single, we're not all the same. Right. And so I feel like there are unfortunately missed opportunities in groups that don't call out those differences. So I'm hoping that Single Talk has been that for you, just an opportunity to step out of what society has placed on you that says this is what single is and this is how single moves, and that you felt free, that you have had some opportunity to try to get whole, to find connection, and to feel like you're not alone, right? Because although we're single, doesn't mean that we have to be alone. We got folk commenting already. Hey, beautiful people. Hey, I need y'all to register for StreamYard so we can see who we talking to. Who else we got? Hey, Brandy. Hey, girl or boy, because I can't see who I'm talking to. But that is all right. So with these single sessions, it is my esteemed pleasure that I don't have to talk for an hour and a half by myself. Right, I have my friends, my sisters, my brothers, my actual family is on with us tonight. That we're gonna chat about these hot topics together. So without further ado, I'm gonna stop yip yapping. Tag a friend. Listen, we go live in this group and everybody can't always see it. I need you to tag people and let people know that we are online and it is about to get hot in here. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on a couple of my good friends. Let's start out with Mr. Stephen Holder. He actually is he's one of the host of the Saving the City radio show. So I always love chatting with Stephen. He's also the founder of I always say it wrong. Say it, Stephen.
You are Brothers on Site Chill and Chat.
Yeah. I want to say chat and chill. Hey, I just want to say that's what feels right. So he's actually the founder of that and just an overall amazing dude. Stephen, say something to the people. Say how you feeling.
Oh man, blessed. Truly, man. we talked about it on the radio show last week. I'm blessed to be like functioning.
Right.
But no, you said something that was interesting. What you got against bowling? Like, that's a singles thing. Like, wait a minute.
Why? Listen, I love bowling, but okay. Because that was a lie. I just felt that like the Holy Spirit was like, you ain't gotta lie. Just be honest. No, I don't hate bowling, but I hate that is always the activity that they choose for us.
That's fair.
To do as singles. Because for whatever reason, they will not update the bowling alleys except for the one that's like down at Bayshore, which I don't know if even that's open anymore.
No, it's not.
Anyway, I do feel some type of way about it. Mm-hmm. I'm triggered by bowling alleys.
Sorry. Okay.
Well, Stephen, I am so glad that you're here. I'm just going to introduce our next guest, and then we're going to get into our hot topics. Y'all hang on. So next up, we have the amazing, the beautiful, the talented Miss Harmony Botya, all the way from South Africa. Oh my God. How you feeling, girl?
Hello. I finally get to be on this side of the group.
Exactly. I'm so glad that you could be here. So if you don't know Harmony, where have you been? Because she is the administrator for our Single Talk South Africa group. Amazing sister, doing amazing things over there in the continent of Africa. And here, this is what I love, is that we are, miles apart, but most of us are still dealing with the same things as singles. It's nuts. So I thought, let's bring you in and we can see really how similar our thoughts and our processes are. So anything you want to say to the people before we introduce the next person? Or you feeling good tonight?
I'm good. I am super, super cold. It is winter this side, guys, where you guys are enjoying your summer. So enjoy the warmth while we've got to pile on some layers. But
what's winter in South Africa though? Like what's the temperature? But see, you guys are on Celsius, right?
Yes. So right now, because it's like late night, it's probably at about it's just under 10 degrees. So then it's just gonna go up. The highest that it will probably go, in terms of warmth, it will go back to about 30 degrees, but that's humid. And then but right now, but I'm more coastal, whereas inland it's probably -1 degree somewhere.
This is bananas, but I love it. Look at how the Lord can connect. Okay, and we're here. So I can't wait to bring you back up. Next up, I'm going to bring up, this is my actual family, y'all. He's all the way in Arizona. And so I want to bring up Rodrick Lamar. What's up, Cuzzo? How you feeling today?
Feeling good, feeling great.
Okay, and tell them a little bit, because I know you have a relationship thing that you do. It's like a podcast, and then you have your like motivational minutes. Tell the folks a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, so definitely, man. I got Culture of the Sexes, what I'm saying, I call my sister, and I don't have any actual siblings, but she's like a sister to me.
I'm your sister.
And of course. Go ahead. But no, we talk about topics as well, and also just from a standpoint of a male and a female, so we do that. And also I got motivational minute. I just like to give. So, I kind of motivate people as I can. So usually I talk to myself and I just put it out there on camera for everybody to see. And if it touches your spirit, it touches your spirit. So.
I love it. I love you, cousin. Okay, go. We put you back down in the green room. Up next, we got my sister friend. She's funny to me. I like her. And she does so much more than make us laugh. I mean, she's an amazing worshiper. She's a mom. She's an entrepreneur. She is a thought leader and so much more. Let's bring up the amazing Felecia Renay. How you doing, girl?
Hey.
Welcome back.
Thank you, girl. Thank you for having me. I'm blessed to be here. Okay.
God is all right. Okay, and all the time.
Yes.
So what made you say yes again to the hot topics?
Because I love it. I love the perspectives. I love the perspectives. It's so cool to be able to hear everybody's different perspective. And what I love the most, we don't always agree. That's what I love the most.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so, for those that might be just joining us and maybe they know a little bit about you, but tell them about, you have something called Everyday with Felecia Renay. Share a little bit about that.
I have Everyday with Felecia Renay, and I actually just transitioned everything to the Single Parent Summit. So for me, what I do is I am what I do is go after the single moms. I go after women that are like me who don't have a community. And I just started to build a community. So I'm on YouTube and Instagram, and also have a podcast called the Single Parent Summit, where we talk about the triumphs and the challenges of being a single mother. And it's really great. It's really been blessing me to be able to hear the stories of other women who are like me, and just to help me feel like, yo, I'm not by myself. For real.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, you know what, y'all? Let's get into our single sessions. Unfortunately, we have lost Stephen. Listen, he shared this on our radio station on last Friday. So he has been dealing with vertigo. And so randomly, he will get a dizzy spell, and it has occurred. And so let's pray for our brother even before we begin this single sessions and get into these hot topics. You know, we never want to, put other things in front of what's important, right? Especially when we know that one of our brothers is in need, right? So let's quick say a word of prayer. Most gracious and eternal Father God, we lift up Stephen to you right now. We come against every foul tactic of the enemy to disrupt, to destroy, to throw him off, to discourage. Lord, we thank you even now that you are calming his nerves, that you are taking away anxiety. I decree and declare that he is healed in the name of Jesus. Devil, the blood of Jesus is against you. Back up. You've got to go. He is purposed, he is destined, and everything that God has said that he will do will come to pass. He will see it, he will touch it, and he will experience it in this lifetime. And so we thank you right now for our brother. We thank you right now for the healing that has taken place. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Woo! I don't like the devil.
I hate him.
I hate the enemy.
Hate him.
And so we got to be mindful of that. Even when it seems like it's something fun that we're doing, listen, he hates y'all. He hates us because he has a tactic. What's he trying to do? Kill, steal, destroy. This is joy today. We're going to laugh, we're going to talk, and we still going to do it. Yeah. And it's still going to get done. And so for those of you that are watching, continue prayer for our brother Stephen. Somebody said, amen, amen. And so we're going to move forward in belief that our brother is healed. So let's get into our hot topics. But before we do that, Brother Rodrick, you the only male.
It's all good. I ain't worried.
You gotta hold it down. You the only one.
Look at my face. I don't got no worried face.
I know. I mean, game face on. I see you. Okay, let's get into it. I think this is one we can start with because I think we've been talking about it for a little while. So let's hit it. I would say let's hit it and quit it, but that sound real crazy. But let's talk about Nick baby mamas. Can we just talk on the topic of Nick Cannon and his 25 baby? Oh, well, how many? It feel like 25 baby mama. So if you are not aware of who Nick Cannon is been popularized. He's like a host. He has Wildin' Out. He was the host of America's Got Talent for a while, I think, and a few other things like that. And so we know him. I actually knew him. I feel like I really got to know him after he was with Mariah Carey, and I was like, oh, who's this little young dude, right? And so he was with Mariah Carey. Were they married? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So they were married and they had twins. Yep. And ever since, he's been giving people twins. So the question on the table is like, what are your thoughts on, I guess, over not just Nick, because we're not coming just for him, because someone I think said in the group, is it our business? Well, no, but I mean, but we still gonna talk about it. But the thing is, when you think about a person that is literally having children, like overlapping, mm-hmm. like, and if it was the tables were turned and it was a female, that's a whole nother situation. So let's start with you, Felecia. What's your thoughts on Nick baby mamas?
First of all, yuck. Okay. How about yuck? Let's not be getting multiple people pregnant at the same time. Okay. But I just, first of all, okay, yeah. Can he afford it? Yes, he can afford it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard a lot of people say. He can afford it.
My God. And what I think, this is just my opinion. First of all, being a baby mama ain't fun. So the only thing that I can think of is that a lot of these women know that this is a money move. They will never probably have to really work a day in their life. So they're like, yes, children me, please. And I just, I can't do it. I just don't understand why, someone would want to. But he has been very open about the fact that he does not want to be monogamous. He has been very open recently.
Oh, has he? I don't know that. Okay.
Absolutely. Very open about monogamy, and that he does not want to get married again. He does not want to settle down, and that he wants and desires the freedom to be with whoever he wants. So I would imagine that was a conversation with all of these women. They
were well aware.
Absolutely.
Anybody else? Harmony, you were biting that lip. What you thinking, girl?
He just needs to move his whole family to South Africa, because that thing is just it happens all the time.
Yeah.
And like nobody flinches. It's okay, it happened. And it even happens with married men, and it's just like, okay, we'll just, keep moving. It happens. So in South Africa, for us, it's quite normal.
It's
and yes,
common.
Felecia, it is yuck. It is very yuck. But and so if they are very open and they know about it, that he just he does not want to settle down and he's just a baby maker, well then, good luck to them.
Somebody said, dang, she said yuck. Yo, okay. Rob, what are you thinking about from a male perspective?
I mean, honestly, regular people do this. So it's just not
right. Right.
You can get a dude that's like a bum off the street, and he gonna. I'm not gonna say a bum, but
But I know what you're saying. People been Rolling Stones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like, to me, it's like, okay, he got money, and if that's what you want to do, and they got that understanding, so be it. Everybody has a choice. And it's not that so we can't. Nobody we're not God, so we can't judge.
Right.
So if that's what he want to do, and that's what they agree to, so be it.
That's
ain't what I'm doing. But, do what you want.
A couple things come up. There was some stuff that Harmony said that it just sparked something, because I remember when I was in East Africa with a sister friend of mine, and we were traveling around in her village in Tanzania, and the village there was one man, and it was several homes, and different women had babies by this particular individual, and it was very normal. And it was like, when you have a baby, and we look at it like yuck, especially in USA, but for them, and I can't speak for everybody, but for that particular family that I'm talking about, it was, she's going to be taken care of. And when you look at it in that way, now these women with Nick, that's a different story. They trying to come up on the dollar side, right?
Other things taken care of.
And they're gonna be taken care of. A little bitty teeny part of me, because everybody know me, I still want a baby. Like, dang, maybe I could get Nick's number right quick. I'm sorry. It did come to mind, because I want twins, and I was like, listen to the devil. This is how we settle, ladies and gentlemen. Because I was like, if I could get twins right quick, and then the devil, it came up, but then I shut that thing down.
But wait, though, let me clarify my yuck. My yuck comes from, just STDs and sexual health. That's my yuck. Like, okay.
But do we know that they're not? Well, we know they're not using protection.
We know they're not using protection, but my thing is like, I just don't want to put my body, they could have a whole agreement. We don't know, right? We just speculating. They could have a whole agreement. They could be testing regularly. We don't know that. However, though, when I'm thinking about like people's sexual health and that kind of a thing, that's where I'm like, I don't know. That's a lot of people to be running through.
I agree. Yeah. And I feel like Hollywood, but to Rodrick's point, really, and somebody else said this too, of course it's money difference from having a baby from Nick Cannon and then Tyrone down the street, but y'all still have babies with Tyrone down the street. It's the reality of what is. And so, but when Harmony kind of brought that up though, about it being a norm in not just South Africa, but in other cultures, and in the Bible. Okay, okay, so then it's like, are we forcing a norm of monogamy? I'm not saying, I'm putting that on the table. are we forcing a norm of monogamy?
Oh, I've thought about this. And I don't like thinking about it.
I don't like thinking about it either.
I don't like thinking about it. But if you really think back, it was very normal in the Bible for men to have multiple wives and multiple children. But I don't like sharing. That's my thing. I don't like sharing. I'm sorry. I can't share. I don't share well, okay?
Neither do I.
I can't do it.
I got to wait until you done. No, mine.
Yeah.
Roger, do you feel like it's it would be, how would you feel tables turned, right? And it was a woman who had multiple fathers or baby fathers. We know it's a double standard, but specifically, what's your thoughts on it?
No, it ain't no double standard. It's the same thing.
That's their business?
That's what you do. That's what you do. I'm not doing it with you, so I don't care. But if that's what you do, you know what I'm saying? Because I think we get wrapped up in, and I know the show-wise we'll be looking, how we're just going about it, but I think a lot of people do get wrapped up in, how they perceive it or how they look at it, but we don't know the specifics of anything. You know what I mean? So personally, like I said, for me, can I do it? No. Will I accept it? No. But if that's what you want to do, so be it. It's your business. You know what I mean? But do I feel like it's
the overlapping for me?
Yeah.
It's that you just had a baby and here come another baby for me.
Yeah.
And is he? What'd you say?
How often? Even like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know the dates or anything, so I'm like,
it's like, how many kids? Does anybody know how many kids it is at this point?
Isn't it
at
7?
this point, I believe it's 7.
Yes, it's 7.
7 total, and then the fact that there's one currently pregnant and one just gave birth to one. One is like 7 months, and then one he just gave. The girl just gave birth to one. But if you've seen the pictures, I mean, the joy in the women's faces, honey.
I just feel like it would be me. I feel like I would be joyful. That is the devil. A part of me just keep feeling like you would be joyful. You should call Nick right now. That is I'll come against.
But maybe that's just they're starstruck, right? It might not be the money. They could be starstruck. Like, people do that too. You never know. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
They be lost in the sauce.
I can have a baby with whoever down the way, or to say that I am. People do fall for what they consider power, and I think at least one of the girls is on Wildin' Out, so he's her boss, right? That probably was super exciting to get that opportunity for her, and a lot of times, people have experienced much worse, so this is like cake, and I think the unfortunate thing is that, or the question I always want to ask is, at what point did you decide I will settle for less? At what point did you get to and you were like, forget God's best, or maybe God was never a part of it and that's the issue. Yeah. I'll take what I can get. Any final thoughts on that one before we move on? Okay. No, leave them alone. No. Let's look at some of the comments. Somebody said yes, no protection, and 6 and 1 on the way. Someone says when Nick's babies are born, they sing at the family reunion, who we introducing song. What? Somebody says she would be a gold digger. Children would be called cash registers. Huh? Who said that? You already know. Somebody said that's Old Testament, huh? Because we're living in the New Testament. Hello. Okay. Nick got that baby bread for the babies.
And
that part, brother. Somebody was. You must have made a good point. Good point, Roz. Who loving Rodrick's comments? Okay, they keep saying yuck because they felt yuck in their spirit. Of course, it's money different. Okay, we said that. Okay. I think we good. He's a mess, but most celebrities are. This is what people say until they become celebrities.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
that's being judgmental, man. That's
a big old judgment.
Like
Yeah. That's a big old judgment, right?
Or an assumption. You said assumption.
Yeah, assumption. Right. Okay. Somebody is cracking up. Love it. Okay, and we're moving. Let's move to the next one. Okay, I wish I could pull up the pictures. So the next topic we're going to hit on is PDA. That stands for public displays of affection. And so there was a post in the Single Talk group with a man gripping.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I feel like Felecia might like a little PDA. That's all right. And homie trying real innocent over there. She was like, yeah. But anyway, he was gripping the bouquet, okay? And so that was a lot. I mean, he was in there. But the question is, PDA, I guess the first question is, how do you feel about PDA? Whoever want to go.
Yeah, give me all the PDA, please.
Yes.
All of it.
Yes. Okay. Is there a time and a place where you feel like, ooh, not right now?
Maybe in church, but outside of that, give me all of it.
Right. Depending on where you are in the church.
Listen, let me tell you something. I have intentionally not been in a relationship in a long time, just because because of whatever it is. But it's been intentional. When I decide that I'm ready, or when God is like, hey, here he go, y'all ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing. Y'all gonna be so sick of seeing us. It's been a very long time. So I think that especially in the beginning part, a lot of that PDA comes out. Yes, all of it, or every bit of it. Yep.
I like it. Harms, how you feel about it?
I differ. For me, it is bring on the PDA, but it depends who is the audience. So like if it's just us and it is like an informal sentiment, like we're walking through the mall, or it's just like we're in the house somewhere, bring it on. But if it is more formal, like we're at a family gathering, and I'm like, no, like keep a bit of a distance. Let's like play it like teenagers a little bit.
Yeah.
Because for me, I come from a very like cultural background, and you kind of like gotta be mindful of what you do, even at our very old age. I have one of my
not
sisters.
Very old age, girl. You still in your 30s. we are 65. Like, and no shade to the 65s, but I'm just saying, girl.
Even with my sisters, so her and her husband are like very cute, about like, they call each other like baby and chick. So when we go to the rural areas, we like, I don't think he'll be doing that, and but he actually still does it. He comes and he checks on his wife. He goes in and he goes into the kitchen and he's like, hi ladies, just want to say hello to my wife. And you would think he'd actually go to the men first and greet the men. And then one of our uncles like noticed, and he was like, oh, I see that the young man there keeps going to check on his wife and doing all these things. I think we need to freshen up. And he was like reminding all the other men, he's like, I think we need to refresh our our old relationships and bring on some of that old affection. So it depends the audience and how you do it. So that's for me.
Okay, Rod. You grabbing booties randomly?
Yes, ma'am. No, it's not. No. No. So, PDA is cool, right? It is, but just don't go overboard with it. You know what I mean? Like, as far as the picture, I don't know if everybody can see or have seen the picture.
I wish
that was tied to it, but but that's, what I'm saying. If you're in a park and it's like nobody around type thing, but like,
well, that's not the definition of PDA. Like, if nobody is around, then it's not public.
Yeah, but no, it's out in public, right? If you speaking out, you speak in the public. I mean, it's always public, but if it's like, you never know, might be kids around, you got a whole handful. Like, what is that teaching? You know what I mean? So you got to be mindful, man, of what you're doing and how you're doing it, how you're moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Come on, Felecia.
I was gonna say, so the reason why I'm okay with it is because growing up as a child, like my mother and father are still married. They're getting older, but growing up, I have never in my adult life seen my mother and father hold hands or kiss or hug. And I didn't really realize it until I became an adult. And I was like, I ain't never seen any of that. And so I know that they love each other. I know that they care for each other. They take care of each other when, one got sick. So I know that there's love there. I don't doubt that. But I've never seen that and really desired to see it. And so in my personal relationships, I'm 100% okay with it. I want my kids to see it because I want my children to know that it's not abnormal. Society make us think that stuff is abnormal because this person don't like it or that person don't like it. If I'm okay with my husband grabbing a handful, grab your handful and my children be okay.
Please grab it all. Take two hands.
Amen.
2 hands.
So basically you in the family reunion, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Everybody around, right? He grabbed just you know what I'm saying? That's cool. Like
my husband, yes.
Nah, man.
My husband, yes.
Y'all tripping.
He can grab it. I mean, just a quick grab.
No, he ain't quick grab on that picture. He ain't quick grabbing.
Okay, can I say this though? Because I feel you. If there's a bunch of little kids around, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to just be tonguing my husband down on the picnic bench and there's a bunch of babies around. You know what I mean? Like, I do understand where just common sense and just general discernment comes in when it comes down to things like that, for sure. But in terms, I don't have a problem with PDA, public displays of affection. It's very exciting, especially if and mind you, I'm not married. So let's just pretend I had a husband and I just happen to know. But no, I was engaged though at one point. But I like the idea of just saying, no, I'm going to love you behind closed doors, in front of everybody as well. And PDA isn't just grabbing butts. PDA, as you stated, I think it was Felecia said, sometimes it's holding hands. It could be a kiss on the cheek. But I do agree that we have to use discernment with it. What's appropriate when. If I know that it offends my grandmother, then I'm not, then I'm going to be mindful of that, and I think that's what it is. It's not a rebellious thing, especially if there's people that are around that I love and I care about and I know that are offended, that could be easily offended, then I'm mindful of that. But overall, I ain't got a problem with it. So the other thing that I want to say though, is it different? We kind of know where Harmony and Rodrick stand with it. Is it different for our leaders? So, when we think about church, right? You think about your pastors or the people that you see in leadership, especially when you're dealing with it in ministry. And specifically, there are a couple cases that come to mind. One was with Pastor Matthew Stevenson. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he had it was kind of like it was a picture, but it was like a moving picture type thing. And he, in the caption was, "I make babies well." And he was like, kind of like,
oh yes, I saw that.
Catching, had his hands up. It was a little awkward, but it was what it was. And then you have the other guy from Maverick City.
Yep.
Right, that got all of this. Right, he got all of this this kickback for his wife was that at their reception, I believe?
Yep, at their wedding reception.
Yep.
His wife at their wedding reception dancing a little risque. Man, mind y'all business. This man married. You don't know, like, come on, really? My thing is this. Like I said, I've been waiting a long time to get into a relationship where it would lead to marriage. Y'all not going to be able to tell me nothing. Nothing will be able to be told to me, okay? I'm going to enjoy every single bit of it, including that public display of affection. And if you don't like it, you ain't got to watch me.
Exactly. But I will also say that if you don't like it in general, then you don't have to participate in it. I'm just saying with another person, like for instance, Harm, or if you're not fit, like you don't have to be like, well, I got to do it because that has to be something that's clear between both people. Because again, back to love languages, we've talked about that, a while back. They may think that they're expressing love to you and it's making you uncomfortable. So communication is key when you're trying to decide on how you want to move forward with that.
Yeah.
Roger, you got something to say on it? you got a second thought. You're like, maybe I should give a look on the cheek.
So two things. Well, no. Actually, no, that is cool. I'm saying like as far as like the whole groping thing, like
Oh yeah, that picture was deep.
As far as, like, I mean, like, as far as like holding hands, a kiss, you know what I'm saying, something like that. Yeah, absolutely, I do that. That's, you know what I'm saying. Of course, like that's awesome. You know, so I like that. But you know what I'm saying, as far as like leaders, like, absolutely, I want to see a leader. I want to see leaders do that. I don't care if you're in the church and that's, you know, if you're a pastor,
you want to see them twerking.
No, that's not PDA.
That's where it went a little far.
No, but you know what I mean, like just to see them, you know what I'm saying, to maybe hold hands or to kiss or to hug, you know what I'm saying, that's showing that's real. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you're being fake.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I think the last thing
I was gonna say one more thing. So I just want to ask y'all this then. Since we here, right? All y'all say PDA good, right? It's cool, right?
Well, no.
Don't make that face. Is it okay or not?
What about to happen?
Ain't nothing about to happen. I just want to know.
Go ahead.
Is it a good thing? Do y'all all agree it should be something that you should be able to do and so on and so forth, right?
Say your whole statement, and then I'm gonna say what I mean.
No, I'm asking. I just want to get an answer. Is it yes or no?
It can't, depending if we're using discernment. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What if it's two men?
I didn't want to go there.
Well, we here, so we're going there.
Oh my goodness, I didn't want to go there because I started to think about it. Go ahead, Felecia, because I didn't want to go there.
Okay, if it's two men
or two women,
two women, that is when my mind goes to my children. Okay, my mind don't go to my children when I'm talking about a heterosexual couple, because that's what I preach in my home, and that's what I feel like healthy relationships, or you know, any relationship, right? But I now am thinking about my kids, like, okay, do I necessarily want to see my children, or want my children to see a homosexual couple engaging in PDA? I would say no. Is that hypocritical?
Yes, okay. But that's okay. Like, but we got to be real about it.
You said yes. Okay.
So my opinion on the matter is in the same way. It's hard to say using discernment and coming from that perspective, but in the same way, I would say the same thing. If they, in the day and time that we live in, and without getting deep, and this is someone that they're married to. This is someone they love. They want to kiss on the cheek. They want to hold hands. They want to show their love, because what we're saying is displays of love, you know, of what their version or my version is of love. And so for me, I'm saying across the board. I'm not saying, here's the thing, even if it was a heterosexual couple, if they tonguing each other down, I feel some type of way with my kids around.
Right.
You know, because you see what I'm saying? Like overall, but you know, if someone's holding hands and I'm not trying to excuse it in this way, I've walked and held my mama's hand. And, you know, most people, you know, or when I was in college, I had a best friend and we would hold hands. This is before all of this extra stuff. And I loved her, you know, and we would sometimes just hold hands because we just was bestest friends. and that's all it was. Right. And so just because someone's holding hands, now if they start tonguing down, that's something else. So it's tough. Harmony, I know you don't want to touch it, do you?
Using discernment. That is the same. I am. It's all levels. Same. So for me, it's the which audience it is, and also what type of PDA. Like, yes, we live in a world where it's happening all around us, and it's even happening kids are getting dropped off at school by their dads, and you know, and their two dads or their two moms. It's literally happening. We are busy with my niece, my 6-year-old niece actually mentioned it, that she's at a restaurant, she saw two men kissing, and
we have to talk about it with our children now.
So I did not know how to address it. So we are now rallying up together as a family and be like, if this child brings this thing up again, how do we address it? And we all need to be on the same level on how to address it. I then asked her, who are you with when you were at the restaurant? She said, my brother, her uncle. And so I said, what did he say? And she was like, no, he got upset and he left. And I understood where he came from, because he's a very traditional African man. So for him to see that it's a no-go zone, so he obviously would not address it. But you now have to address this because she's going to repeatedly ask the question or mistakenly go to YouTube and YouTube giving her the answer.
Oh, we definitely don't want the YouTube giving her the answer because we're going to go down a rabbit hole.
You know, it's a balance of both. Yeah. Same.
Yeah, that discernment is real, and these are things that we can't avoid, you know, because this is the world that we're living in, and so these are conversations that I believe that we do have to have with our children. Any final thoughts on PDA? Think about it. I'm going to pull up some of the comments. Griff Taylor thinks we're hilarious. Someone says many different forms of PDA. Is it exhibiting love or lust? Ooh.
See, and that's what I was saying. Like, you know, like if it's like a peck, or you know, saying it's a hug or holding hands, that's one thing. But you know, you got the mother ones out there that's doing something way worse.
Yeah. Like I mean, you start thinking about like full out sex, and I've literally seen it about to go down, like walking down, if you're from Milwaukee, like walking down Water Street, you know, when I was a little bit younger, and just being like, what's happening here? Let me keep going, you know. And so it's a real situation out here. So again, I think using discernment and thinking about it just in terms of but I guess, you know, again, I feel you, Felecia, though, when it's your husband, especially when we've been waiting for a while.
Absolutely.
I just love you. I love you, you know. So I say it's love, but again, you do have to be mindful of, you know, of the folks that are around you, especially if, will it cause someone else to fall? It kind of goes back. Yeah, go ahead.
So that's exhausting to even think about.
But think about, see, like drinking is not necessarily a sin. But if you are, you know, you got to be mindful of your brother. Oh, I don't know.
Jesus, help me, God.
We thinking and we praying. Lead and guide us on today. Somebody said yes, laugh out loud, because that's how some people feel about their kids. They don't want them seeing adult activity in public. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's hypocritical, it's biblical. That's what somebody said. Yeah, it's about your comment, Felecia. Got the ladies twerking to clap your hands. What? Oh, clap. I don't know. Oh, Griff is cracking up. Felecia gonna let little bit of her ratchet come out at her wedding reception. Why is that ratchet? Why is that ratchet?
It ain't ratchet at all.
I don't think it's ratchet. I think it's healthy sexuality, especially because that's the point I did want to make before we move to the next topic. Because when we think about the guy from Maverick City, it wasn't that he was sharing this around. Someone took this photo of them at their wedding. You know, Prophet Matthew Stevens had a different approach. He just wanted to put it up and be seen about it. So that might be a little bit different. So again, I think it's your intention. You know your heart underneath it. Griff says he can grab it, but don't let him make any plates or serve any food. I don't want the potato salad smelling like body / booty. Y'all done lost it up in here. Good question. Yeah, I think it's different with marriage or long-term relationships, but not just every few years you got a new boo.
Yeah.
You know, I guess, you know, to each his own. Please distinguish. Are you talking about PDA with a husband or a boyfriend? I was speaking about a husband or a wife. That's what I was talking about. I think a boyfriend is different. I think a boyfriend, let's clarify that. That's complete, or girlfriend. I think that's completely different. I'm talking about spouse. This is your husband. This is your wife. That's what we're talking about.
So basically, you saying you dating a dude for 6 months, 7 months, a year. No PDA, right?
Well, not necessarily.
Oh, that's not. That's what you just said.
Well, I guess I meant like grabbing the booty. Like, I mean, the more sexual part. That's what the more sexual undertone things, because that is a healthy part of marriage.
Yep.
You know, so that's the part that I'm saying is for marriage. PDA in general, if we're just talking about PDA in general, then again, it's going to be that whole discernment piece. So again, that's my thought on it, and I will move accordingly, and or kiss publicly accordingly. Please. Oh, I already said that. Okay. What if you saw a woman grabbing a man private in public? Ooh.
That's different. That's not PDA. That's I'm ready to go to the bedroom. That's different.
That's something else. And we're not talking about front, like the woman part either. Like that. That's something. That's something different. I need a wife to get into a grab cheek ministry. Good night. I don't feel comfortable. I used to not feel comfortable, and then it depends on the person too. So anyway, I don't feel comfortable doing it in front of my elders or kids, and I realize I don't like my kids to do it in front of me. I feel it's now I don't have children, but I don't want to see my kids. But I don't know if they're married.
I have an adult daughter. If my adult daughter got married and her husband grabbed her butt and they was in my house, what I'm finna say? That's his whole wife. I mean, I don't understand.
She said, yeah, a little too strong. She must like that cheek gripping ministry. Who are y'all? And we're moving. Okay. And we're moving. Let's move on to the next topic. My goodness. Now, this one we didn't get to touch on, and I hate that Steven's not here because he was really wanting to talk on it because he's actually been divorced before. And so there's been this trend going around about divorce parties. And so basically people are doing photo shoots when their divorce is final. They are having full-fledged parties in celebration of divorce. What are your thoughts on divorce party? I know, Felecia, let's start with you because I know you have been divorced before.
Yes. So I was thinking about this, and I'm not sure what kind of divorce they were going through, because my divorce sent me into a deep depression. I didn't want to have no parties. I didn't want to kick it. So I'm not sure what was going on in that marriage.
Yeah.
But I mean, I loved my partner, and my partner divorced me. That was hurtful. I don't want to throw no party. I don't want to take no photo shoot. What I would have done, though, if I could do everything differently, I think that I would have had some kind of private, not celebration, but I would have had more women around me to celebrate me. Like, you're still worthy. Everything's fine. You're still lovable, because those are some of the feelings and emotions that I went through. I felt like I was unlovable. I felt like I had failed. And I think that if I had not, I isolated myself. So I think that I would have done something, not plastered it all over social media, but I definitely would have done something. But it wouldn't have been no divorce party or a photo shoot.
Yeah. I have some stuff to say about it, but let's go around the panel. Go ahead, Harmony.
I agree with Felecia. I mean, if it could be celebrated in that way, where she speaks about more of a woman coming around and supporting her, even with the men, where they come around and they're like, bro, it's been rough, or we understand how things are going. And I think it would help the process of healing and finding your support and knowing who your peeps are. And for me, more of a support thing. Yes, with those divorce parties, you have your supportive friends who are celebrating with you that he's now gone or she's now gone, you're a free man. I think it's a difference, what are we celebrating? Is it a bad marriage now that has ended, or are we, moving forward and saying, okay, this chapter's ended now. How do we move forward? How do we heal? So I'm very much in agreement with Felecia about this.
Yeah. What are you thinking about, Rodrick?
I mean, that's a trend. That's exactly what it is. That's a trend. You know what I mean? Honestly, like, if that's your real friends or whatever, or who's ever doing this with you, or whatever's going on, because from what I've seen, actually, you said something about it, or said something on the topics, I looked at pictures. I see a lot of women. I don't see men. I just see a lot of women. So it's a trend. It's something that they're doing just because they saw somebody else doing it. Because honestly, if that was your real friends, like, they'd be like, nah. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, hey, let's surround her, like Felecia said, let's surround her and encourage her to be, to move forward. And if somebody's like, let's go ahead, burn clothes and do this, like, that's not your real friend. That's just somebody following the trend. That's all it is to me.
Agreed. Yeah. And I would also say that, I might disagree on the fact that they're not her real friend or even his real friend if that's something the guy is doing, only because they could very well be a real friend that's also broken. Sometimes, trauma bonds. There's many things, that people bond on, and trauma is one of them. And so, that's why you have to be, they might have good intentions of being your friend, but sometimes, that's why you got to be careful about who you have in your circle. And then overall, just the idea, I think it's kind of what Harmony said, at least you may alluded to this too. I don't mind the idea of something where there's support, but to call it a divorce party, call it a healing party, call it a get your life, call it whatever it is, but to call it a divorce party, especially, because God honors marriage, right? And so now I'm going to celebrate something, that's not that, and so it's like, let me go through my healing process. But I think that, to Rodrick's point about it being a trend, I think that it's because there is, as to what Felecia said, a Great Depression. I mean, it literally is a death. It is a death of a person that is still walking around, but that is not part of your life in the way they were anymore. And that is traumatizing. And so I think in a place of desperation, on top of trend, people are trying to not go through the process of the pain, right? But if you negate the process, then you won't ever really be healed, brother or sister, right?
Yeah, that party ain't gonna do nothing. That party ain't gonna do nothing for you.
It's at not that moment, anything.
It's gonna be outstanding. But after that moment, when you go home and you by yourself, so you spent that money. You spent that money for no reason. You did this whole photo shoot for nothing. So I mean, honestly, unless that photo shoot was gonna change something, that was pointless.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, and again, this is our opinion. Maybe for someone else that has thrown one, they would say it's the best thing that ever happened to them. But I believe that as believers, we have to have a different standard, to how we are, because the world is going to heal the way the world heals. They may pacify it. They may pacify it with drink, with divorce parties. Okay. But as believers, we got to find another way. How do we tap into the Father? How do we get through this? And encourage someone else, and maybe during that process, you ain't think about encouraging nobody else because you got to survive. But it is a process. So I am not for divorce parties. I think that is a trend that needs to end, in my opinion. Let's see what the people is saying about the divorce party, because they lit on tonight. Let's see here.
Come on, Griff.
Right, you already know Griff is on. This is yes, depends on the situation. Some people stay longer than they should, so they feel the need to celebrate the release and new beginning. So that part I get. Celebrate the release, celebrate the new beginning, whatever you got to do to stay above. But calling it a divorce party, that's the part for me, Let's see. And y'all feel free to chime in if somebody say something you got something to say about. Thanks for reminding me. I have to plan my 20-year divorce party. No more pain. I wish I could see who said it.
I don't know, because to me, that sounds like you still holding on to something. See, I'm just going to be quiet on it. Because that honestly, and no shade to the person who put up the post, but a lot of it, what it looks like when at least when I saw those things, it looks bitter, and I'm not saying that maybe there really is bitterness, but it doesn't look like, ooh, glory. It look like, oh man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and to me too, it feels like it's an intentional jab at the other party. Like, I'm so happy you gone that I've decided to now throw a party. And but why? Like, just y'all go in peace. That's how I was with my divorce. I was like, bruh, just go in peace. This has been difficult enough. I don't want no more problems. Just go. We ain't got to talk about it again. We ain't got to bring nothing up. So just that, intentional jab at the other person, like just to dig, that's kind of what it looks like sometimes.
But what else just came up too when I thought about it, and Harmony come on in. you know, we don't know anybody's walk through these divorces, you know, and we're saying, you know, maybe it's one hurt and what, but sometimes maybe the person tried to literally take them out. You know what I mean? I'm still not saying, yay, have a safe divorce party, but I just think that we don't know. You know, we don't know. Harmony, were you about to say something?
No, I'm good.
Okay, I'm good on the divorce. Okay, Rodrick, anything else you want to say on that? You good?
No, yeah, I'm good, man.
Okay, let's see here. Back to divorce party. Okay, that was that. Thanks for reminding me. Only women have divorce party. What man having a party? Good night, Griff. Oh, that was me tagging folks. Right, because it's a soul tie. If you are married, your two becomes one. Oops, I went up a little. Okay, this is Griff. It makes me question someone's understanding of marriage as a whole. Again, a believer's mindset. It should be different, in my opinion, and at least how you're handling it. Because, I mean, you know, maybe I've not dealt with divorce, but I have dealt with ends of relationships. You know, even not just romantic relationships. And I know that's something very different, but in that there's a graciousness. You know, even though sometimes like days like they don't even deserve my graciousness. But, you know, that's my thought. But again, I've not been divorced. But again, he says it makes me question someone's understanding of marriage as a whole when they celebrate divorce, unless they left an abusive marriage. That's the other thing that I was thinking about. We don't know. You know, I mean, people have left because the husband abused the child sexually. You know, they like, but even with that, I'm not trying to have a party. You know, so yeah. I think it's back to Rodrick said it was a trend. You know, he saw people on reality shows doing it, and you know, we start to mimic. Someone says, yeah, I think Mary J. Blige would have had a divorce party because she was ready to get rid of that joker. Just depends on how did Mary J. Blige get in here? Come on in, Mary. Tiana said, oh, maybe that was Tihana. She said that. Oh, this is Tihana saying that. Tihana is celebrating 20 years divorce because I found myself after he left.
Agreed.
Amen, Tihana. But Tiana, we also know your story in terms, you know, and I think that's another level and layer as well. But listen, this is what I'm gonna say. Y'all got to do what works for you. You got to do what works for you. As for me and mine, I'm not having a divorce party. My prayer is that I don't have a divorce. Okay, that's my prayer. But I'm definitely not gonna celebrate it and I'm not gonna say if it happens. I'm just not for the divorce party. And we're moving. Again, y'all, keep in mind that these are hot topics and these are our opinions, okay? This is not fact. It is not what you should do or what you shouldn't do. We're just sharing our thoughts, you know, one to another. All right, let's go to the next hot topic. Ooh, dang. We got to bring it on anyway. This topic was specifically for Stephen. And he's not here. So let me give the backstory. So Stephen has been doing an amazing job posting in the group. He's been posting strong. And so he posted this picture of what seemed to be 4 women, and it had like little captions on the meme. And it said, you know, this woman was, you know, maybe she made a certain amount of money or this, that, and other, or, you know, everybody had their own descriptions of you know, the type of women they were. And so Stephen innocently posted it in the group and said, you know, was asking us or asking the brothers which woman would they choose. And so then I politely came on as the first commenter and I said, brother, these are men. Because did y'all see the photo? You said you saw the photo I put in the inbox, y'all. Those are men.
I didn't realize that they were men when he first posted it. And I just thought he put it up there, you know, as like I don't know, just to ask questions and, you know, have people engage.
He didn't realize they were men.
I didn't realize that they were men.
I didn't see it either.
Well, yeah. Yeah, so if you guys have I wish I could show you, but again, we're going over the popular post in Single Talk. So you guys, this post is in Single Talk, and Stephen left it up. I appreciate him for that. And for you guys, it is in the group text that I sent you. So if you want to see the ladies in there, you can. And so what it did for me, like we came for Stephen with that, and I was like, brother, before you choose the next woman, please run her past me. Because what I'm not going to do is have you out there like that, okay? And so we were back and forth but listen, the only reason why I knew that these were men is because they are well-known trans stars, right? So they are on different TV shows and things like that. So I knew them from that. But at first glance, they did, look like biological women. And so really the thing that I wanted to put on the table, like after the funny started to wear off, I started to think about men and dating in 2021. And so the question that I was going to put on the table really was like, what would you do? Because Stephen was completely innocent in thinking that these were women. So what would you do if right now, this very well could be a real thing. So I'm going to put it on Rodrick. What if you meet somebody? What if you met someone and you start vibing with this person and it comes out that they are trans and maybe they've had the full, so at least 2 of them on there, I know for sure, have had the full surgery. I mean, I know what'd you say? It's a wrap. How do you just them?
First of all, how would you handle it? You lied on top. I mean, that's something you got to put on the table up front. That's just out of respect. You know what I mean?
Like but see, go ahead.
No, so if I'm gonna give you full respect, right? Like if I'm gonna give you full respect and put everything I got on the table, you put everything you got on the table. I don't want to see you put it on the table if you got what I got. So, but yeah, just put it out there. You know what I'm saying? And give somebody an actual, chance to even say yay or nay. And then you starting off with a solid foundation. Otherwise, that's on a faulty foundation. You know what I mean?
I don't feel like it's fair. Yeah. Thoughts, Harmony and or Felecia?
The friend, first of all, should know, if I were a guy, should know my taste and not, like switch things up on me or whatever. So first on the friend, it's a no-go zone. And then no. Like I saw the picture and I thought, oh wow, these are beautiful ladies. And I was reading all the details, and then the next thing they were like, you made me aware, and I read the post, I'm like, oh, but these are very beautiful ladies. I wouldn't have, at first glance, you wouldn't have seen it. But then, really like, no. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead,
if I were a boy, no, thank you.
If I were a boy, go ahead, Felecia.
So, of course, I've never been in a situation where anybody that was trans, tried to come on me or tried to date me and didn't tell me. But there is one instance where I follow this one particular YouTuber, and I've been following this person for years. I mean, phenomenal. They do makeup. I watch every video, binge watch their videos, and it's Nikki Tutorials. So I don't know if you know what happened, but Nikki Tutorials, you would have never been able to tell, but she was blackmailed. Somebody from like her middle school or something like that. And she's famous, rich and famous from YouTube. But somebody from her middle school blackmailed her and was like, we're going to tell everybody that you are a guy. And so in order to take her power back, she came forward with the story before they had the opportunity. So when she told her YouTube community, when I tell you, I was like, what? I didn't know.
Because you're not going to know. Go ahead.
I didn't know. So in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, this don't change the fact that I think this person is super talented.
Right.
I still follow her. I'm still an avid fan of hers. But then I think about her boyfriend. Her boyfriend didn't know. The boyfriend did not know. So then of course, there had to be, this conversation. They stayed.
So she has a full. She doesn't have a penis anymore. Okay.
She does not. Nope. She had the whole thing. And so now she's in this, she was in this position where she now has to tell her boyfriend because she don't have no choice. First of all, how do you not know when you're that intimate with somebody? But then two, I just be thinking to myself like, wow, he's gonna stay. Not tripping that he's staying, but I'm just thinking like,
interesting.
They are still together. That happened about 1.5 years, almost 2 years ago, and he still stayed. I don't think I would be able to do it because, like Rod said, it's the dishonesty for me. Mm-hmm. It's the dishonesty for me, and I'm at the age now where if I break up with somebody, I be still staying cool with them. I still stay cool with them. But the lying, like we could have still stayed friends. We could have still, whatever. I'm not gonna just shun you.
Ross said, "No, we're not even gonna be friends."
So you told a major lie.
Don't lie to me though. Don't lie to me. Give me the opportunity to make a decision.
If he can tell, you said she. If he can tell a lie that big, like small lies is nothing. So they don't tell me what's the truth at this point.
This is a tough one because we're in the world now where, we live in cancel culture, and we're also living in a time where you speak up or you say something, then you're automatically considered hateful, homophobic, transphobic, and so you feel silenced. And it's a very thin line that we're on with this. And it's rough.
It's not rough. Listen, we grown, right? So if you want to be something, that's what you want to be. You stand in that truth.
But so here's the thing, Rod. Listen though, because I do know, and I'm not necessarily taking up, but I am playing because and I hate to say devil's advocate, but I am playing the other side only because me growing up in the arts, I have had direct access to people who have different lifestyles, especially when it comes to just gay culture in general. And so I know people that are trans. I was actually about to move in with a girl that I thought was a girl, but actually ended up being trans. And I found out the night I was staying over, and she was like, "You didn't know?" And I'm like, "Oh, because it's there's just so much to it." But here's the thing: so you do have those, and one thing I do like about her is that she is very vocal, and she will say, and I feel you on Rod because Rodrick is like, "But he," she will say that she was born biological male. She has had the full surgery and all of that, right? And so she will say that to any male that is pursuing her. And what is shocking is that the more so than not, they stay. More so than not, they stay. And I'm like, what? And then the other aspect of it, and so you have people like, her name is Angelica. She's very open about it, Angelica Ross. And so you have people like her who admit that they were born by biological male. And then you have other people that believe they are women.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we're dealing with is a mental belief that they are a woman. And this is why it's like they don't feel like they're lying because in their mind, they are a woman.
Yep.
And so that's why I forget, there was someone that spoke prophetically probably about almost 7 years ago. I will never forget it. She said, we are going to move into a season, especially she started to speak to singles and people that were going to be moving into relationships where we have to have discernment like never before and God will tap you on the shoulder and be like, something ain't right. What is that?
Yep.
What is that? Because it all started with, okay, now we all want to have the extra makeup and beat me, show me how to walk. And I always felt like this, and no disrespect, but how can a man teach me as a woman how to walk? So it started this whole, in terms of how to walk like a woman, right? And so now you can't tell the difference because we walk like you, because you showed us how to, it's all of this other stuff. And so it is, Lord have mercy. So I think the other part that I wanted to add in there is that this is how some of these hate crimes end up happening because people aren't being honest. And then people feel violated. And then in trying to protect that part of them, now they're beating up somebody or doing something else. And now it's It's a lot.
Yeah.
What is gonna do? Anybody got a solution?
No solution, but I agree with what you said about the fact that they truly believe that they were born a woman. So not telling someone that they were born male, like they really do not believe that they are being dishonest. They believe that they were born with the wrong body. They believe that they were born with the wrong parts. And I mean, they believe it for real, like to their core.
That's a thing.
That's a thing.
It's a thing.
Do you believe in God at that point then?
Do I believe or do they believe in God?
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Do you believe in God? Is that who made us, right?
Clarify the point. Do we believe
in God? So
that's
what I'm saying. Right. I'm saying, do these people believe in God? Like, do they not believe in God?
Yeah.
Then, right?
And then they do, but yeah. Yes.
So God made a mistake in their eyes. Is that what they're saying?
I don't know exactly what they think, because when people think about sin, or people who are born with other kinds of issues, what do you call it, deformities, things like that, and you do what you have to do to cut off the extra finger or the extra, And I'm not saying I don't really again, I am not trans. Okay. And I don't know all there is to it, but I know that this is a real serious situation that at some point we're going to have to deal with in a big way, especially when we start thinking about our children and our children's children. Yeah. And what that looks like for them, But I do want to clarify that just because I might disagree with certain things, and I said this was a quote that I used to say, just because I disagree doesn't mean that I hate. I do not believe that anybody needs to be killed or murdered or hung or beat upside the head because they're trying to figure out who they are. I do think that people need to be held accountable for lying, but I don't think that means that somebody needs to be hung, or ran over or something crazy like that. I do believe that people still deserve rights. They need to be able to work. They need to still be able to do these different things. But, it is a real tough situation that we're in. So let's hit some of the comments. Okay, Griff. What if a trans woman was dating a trans man and unbeknownst to each other, they were both trans, but they both discover they were born opposite genders? That would be funny.
That's not.
It has happened. It has happened, actually. I know, Griff, you're quite entertaining on tonight, but it has happened. It has definitely happened, and I've seen like documentaries and stuff about it. I'm telling you, it is wild. It's wild out here. Then I guess they would be all right. I don't know. Or would they be heterosexual? Who knows? That's the other part of it. Yeah, and so this person says that's what liar do, believe it to the core. Wow, when you have people who are compulsive liars, sometimes, they will believe they will say so many lies that they begin to believe their own lie. I'm not just talking about trans people, I'm talking about people who be lying. They start believing their lie. They know what they are doing. I'm gonna be quiet now. They are sickening and horrible. Someone says God still loves them. Yes, he does.
He does. And
yes, he does.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest about this thing. It's thrown me off, and I have not shared it with anybody. There is a trans person on TikTok that I happen to watch every now and again because they funny. Okay, they be doing these dances and putting on these wigs. It's hilarious to me, right? But I do believe you need to be mindful of what you're watching, what you're taking into your eye gates, your ear gates, or what have you. And so, but every morning, this person would tag me in their morning video, and I happened to get on one. I think I did it on accident. Got on, and I was like, okay, what are they doing? They had the little wig off. They still had like a little piece of a dress. I was like, is this a dress? A little moo something on? Anyway, they were praying, just being grateful and being thankful. One of the most sincere prayers that I have heard and felt, and my spirit be on. I was like, I didn't even know what to say. And they were just clapping their hands. They said, well, I thank you. Another day with no cocaine. Thank you, Lord, for another day with no cigarettes. They were just being honest, because we don't know what got a person to where they are, right? We judge them at the chapter that we find them. Right. And so I love that somebody said God still loves them, because they absolutely do. Because God still loved me in my mess and my confusion and my trying to figure it all out. But this is a real situation, even beyond that. And we really have to start thinking about, especially as being single and dating. I don't feel like, I'll say this and then we'll move to the next one. I just don't feel like I'm gonna fall for a trans woman, a trans man. I feel like I'm gonna always be able to tell that you used to be a girl, like, because they're smaller.
We have a female radar. Female radar is always on.
I just don't, and plus I really, the short don't work for me anyhow. I'm tall, so that would be one big woman. I don't know. I don't know, Jesus. Somebody said the devil knows the Bible, as we all know, so doesn't mean anything. That they pray like Christians, wolf in sheep clothing. Yeah, but if he wasn't praying on nobody, he was just praying his own prayer. That's all it was. He wasn't trying to pray over nobody. He was just in prayer. And if you wanted to join, join with him being thankful. It was a beautiful thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Jump in real quick and say I definitely have mixed feelings about this. I am very close to a young woman who's transgender, and I've been knowing her since she was 16 or 17. I mean, she goes to the church, and I've been in her life a long time, and I love her. I love her heart. I love her spirit. I love her humility. And just because you do not agree with someone's lifestyle, I mean, she can come to this house whenever she wants to. She can come over here. She can hang out with my kids. She can, I love her. I don't care what she does. I don't care who she has decided to be. And I think that that's the point right there, is that I don't want to say that they're horrible people. She ain't horrible. She's not a horrible person. So that, no, she's not a horrible person. She just don't believe necessarily what I believe about who she was created to be. And that's okay. She got open access to my heart and my life and my home at any time.
This is what I believe. God know how to reach his people.
Period.
God know how to get to his people. I don't got to figure it out. I might disagree for this or for that. I need to show love to my brother and my sister. God know how to get to his people. It could be the last moment. And they repent, they give up, they give up whatever it is, whatever the thing. And I'm not just talking about trans people. I'm talking about people in general who are dealing with whatever their thing is that they're dealing with. I'm trying to get off the subject. Y'all keep coming with these folks. Okay, what I don't like saying is I got transphobia because I don't date or have a preference for transgenders. Yeah, we agree on that. Now what I'm saying, what I'm saying is the devil pray among the righteous. Yeah, but you can, who love people, not sin. That's right. Right. Reason why I don't like women with strong genitals. And we're moving. I think this is a good segue into transferable spirits, right? So we're talking a little bit about just sexuality in general. We went kind of, dealing with homosexuals and the homosexual community, LGBTQ community. I was like, let me get it right. But transferable spirits, it's real. Homosexual, heterosexual, but people like to downplay that it's not that deep. So what are your opinions on? I would say premarital sex, but just in general, just sexuality and transferable spirits. Do you think it is a real thing, or do you think do you think it's a real thing? And if so, give examples without too many details. Let's start with Monique, because you've been a little quiet.
I think it's real, and for me, it's more of, it's like DNA, but it's more spiritual, and you're transferring that energy. I'm using that word energy loosely, but you're transferring that physical energy, which is somehow spirit, into somebody else through a very intimate moment. And if those things are not dealt with and you transfer that, then somehow, that type of energy flows into the person. So e.g., let's say if you have like raging anger issues or whatever, and you end up in, a long-term relationship where you're passing that energy on to that person, what are the chances of that person catching and having the same kind of energy that you're having, because you guys have been transferring that? So it's like, I'm pouring into you this type of energy that I have, and what are the chances that we're not going to contaminate each other? So I believe, this is with me, I believe that transferable spirits are real.
I absolutely actually agree. Plazo. Oh, I call Rodrick Plaz. Go ahead.
I mean, so are we talking just sexual? Is that what you're saying?
Ooh.
Because me personally,
but
I think
elaborate. Go where you want to go.
I don't think, but I know it's more mental. It ain't got nothing to do with the sexual.
Absolutely.
It's all mental.
Absolutely agree.
It's 100% mental. Because even if you're attracted to somebody like that, it's mental.
Interesting. Go ahead, Felecia.
Okay. So I believe in transferable spirits, but I don't necessarily believe that transferable spirits are just like transferred through sex. So
that's interesting, yeah.
So I agree with what you're saying about like this mind thing. I believe that if you are not rooted and grounded in the things of Christ, if you're not rooted and grounded in that word, and you're not standing on a firm foundation, and you have people around you that do X, Y, and Z, one of two things will happen. You are either going to get rid of those people because they don't fall in line with what you believe, or you're going to be doing that. And I've had it happen to me before, where I've not been rooted and grounded in Christ, and not reading my word, and not really pouring into my spirit. And then okay, let me be careful how I say this. Has somebody around me who drank a lot. I'm not a drinker. I'm an occasional drinker. Birthday and Christmas is about all.
Yeah.
But I found myself, because they were around me a lot, drinking a little bit more. And at first it was just occasional glass of wine. And then it started to get to a point where I was like, I need to hurry up and get home because I need to have a drink of wine because I'm shit or whatever. When did that even start? I'm not even a drinker like that. So that's when I realized, like, yo, this person right here been around. I've been letting them in my space. I've been letting them in my presence. And then all of a sudden now I'm always drinking. No. And if my fear was that, man, if I hadn't have noticed that, would I have kept going? So I do believe in transferable spirits, but I believe that it's more who you're around. Yeah, I believe that you can transfer spirits from one person to the next sexually. Yes. But I feel like more of us not having sex all the time, and we around people, right? So if we put sex off to the side and be like, we do that on occasion, right? Ain't nobody having sex all of the time.
Yeah.
But we're more around people all of the time.
That's deep.
Our peers, the people that we follow, what we look at, and you start desiring and wanting different things. That is a transfer of spirit.
Ooh, y'all is on tonight. I am in 100% agreement that the spirits, that they can be transferred, and it doesn't have to be sexual. However, I do believe that they are transferred sexually as well. But to your point, Felecia, because, especially for those, again, we're talking, this is a faith-based group. So, most people who are believer minded, they are at least attempting to, hold off till marriage, at least here and there, some. But I do believe it is very real. I was talking about this, I think, on one of my spirit drops. You come home and you feeling sad, and you felt joyful when you woke up in the morning. Who were you around? Who spoke into your life? Who were we have to be mindful of this, and that's why when we wake up in the morning, before we step out into this world, we have to put on the whole armor of God, right? We walk out unprotected. And we are walking literally onto a battlefield, right? Let alone, so you're going to walk out into the battlefield and then come home and create another battlefield in your bedroom, sis. You wondering what's going on, brother? You know, but here's the thing, and I hate to, you know, I know we want everything to be equal, but things are different. You know, we're thinking about men versus women. Men are projectors, they give off. Right? Women are receptors. We take in, right? So if we start to think about sexuality and they are giving off, right? And they can walk away and it's like, what? And I'm now carrying the weight.
Yes.
He's feeling great. I'm carrying the weight of his anxiety, his depression, his low self-esteem and all this stuff because we are receptive. We're designed to receive. I was reading somewhere in an article, and I need to fact check it, so don't take me for 100%. But I was reading somewhere that women, we carry the DNA of every male that we slept with. Oof. That come on for now we can
yuck please. Okay,
now I'll yuck on that one, you know. So and that's the thing, we try to and we want to take the roles off, and you know, I can do it like a man. We weren't designed to do that, ladies.
Nope.
You know, we don't want to hear it, but that's the truth. And I'm not coming to shame you and say that, you know, this is that or this is not. Well, I am saying this is that, but I'm not coming to shame you. You can take it how you want to take it, but nobody wants to talk about it because everybody wants to be free, right? But people have mixed up what freedom is. Yep. And the more we're trying to be free, the more we're getting bound.
Yep.
We're wrapped up in all this stuff, transferable spirits, since that's what we're talking about, and everything else. So we have to be mindful of our spirit, of our heart. We got to protect it like it's gold, right? Because what ends up happening, so no, maybe you don't die, maybe you don't go to hell, but you don't walk out everything that God had for you to do.
Yes.
You don't get to reap the benefits that was already set for you before the beginning of time. Right? That's what the enemy wants. He don't care about the other part. If I can make you miserable along the way, and then you wake up, like, to me, that's hell.
Yes.
We keep talking about fire. That's hell. You mean, imagine dying and then getting a glimpse of who you could have been.
Yeah.
That's hell, right? And so if we're not mindful of who we are spending our time with, who we're allowing to enter us, literally, or enter our space, you know, there are consequences to it. There are consequences to it. Any question or comments as I pull up what the folk got to say? Yes, come on in.
I want to say now, we're talking about this in a negative sense, but also flip this as well.
That's good.
Because I have a girlfriend of mine who I love dearly, who I believe has now transferred this spirit of like debt free spirit right on me. I didn't have any idea of what it was, none of that. But when I started hanging with her, it forced me to come up because she debt free. She got free. She got herself together. She worth a lot of money. But before I met her, I wasn't thinking about that because I didn't know. Nobody had taught me. Nobody had showed me. But when I started to hang around with her, I started asking questions, being inquisitive. How did you do this? How did you do that? How did you get out of debt? What's the debt snowball? What's this? What's that? And it completely changed the trajectory of my finances. So just like we talk about transferring of spirit in the negative, I believe it. Also on the flip side, finding people who don't have what you have and you see it and you be like, I like what's on her. I love what's on her. And I just want to see what that is about. So it works the other way as well.
I love that you brought that up because when we talk about spirits, it's not all negative. I love that you brought that up. I think it was either Bishop Jakes or it was Pastor John Hanna that said, you hang around 9 millionaires, you're just about guaranteed to be the 10th. You hang around, you trying to lose weight, hang around folk that's working out.
Yep.
You guaranteed to be fitting in there somewhere, you know, because they not you ready to eat the brownie sundae, I'm talking to myself, and they got a salad, you feel some kind of way. You know, and it's like, okay, well, I'll get the salad, but really I wanted the pizza, you know, so all of that is very real. We have to be mindful of that. Let's look at some of the comments, and then we're almost at the 9:30 hour. And I want to at least get to this last topic. Somebody said, are we speaking of transfer of spirits, bisexual soul ties? Well, that was what you kind of heard the conversation. So soul ties, yes, a part of that. we can get into soul ties too. That's another topic. Someone says, yes, indeed. I truly believe that is how I became a hoarder.
Wow.
Amongst other things, from a guy I used to date that was a hoarder. Depression, suicide, being broke, job loss. Literally everything he went through transferred to me. Wow. But again, that kind of goes back to what Felecia was saying about making sure you gotta like, who else is living in your house? And I mean inside your body, which, like, I got my spirit, but it also has the Holy Ghost. Okay. The Holy Ghost is rest, ruling, and abiding in there. So, if you can get through, maybe I opened the door on you and didn't know, but then the Holy Ghost standing there like, what you doing here?
Amen.
No, you don't belong. So we do have to be mindful of what we're, not just who we're allowing around us, but then what we're doing when we do have that alone time. We got to be praying. We got to be talking to God constantly. Anybody that enters your life, Lord, show me, discern, help me see. Mm-hmm. Because again, like, I think this is Angel actually, because I know of her story. It could end up, in a situation like this. Angel, I'm praying that things have changed in that way. But my goodness, thanks for being transparent. Griff says, it's a problem when she let him move in and buy him an Xbox, all because she had a D appointment get delivered. And good night. Not buying. Somebody said music too. Absolutely. Now I'm glad people said so. It's not just actually we might feel like it's just when I'm around people, and then you be like, I haven't been around people, but what you've been watching on Netflix? Yeah. What you've been listening to? Like all of this, in the same way you can watch church online and feel the spirit. Stuff really be going on. We got to be mindful of it because we live in a body, but we are spirits. It depends on the person. Some people give off positive energy while someone else will drain you when it comes to transferable spirits. Absolutely. You guys are spot on. You have to be, y'all typing a lot. That's what I'm going to say. It ain't no quick. Y'all like, we going to get in on this conversation. Okay. You have to be open to it. You can't be tempted by something if your mind is built on being steadfast, no matter the temptation. If your mind is on, I'm not going to do it, you will stand firm. It's only when you are open to trying or giving into that temptation. And so that's why we got to be mindful of because this is how the enemy come in. He come in when you tired. Yep. When you lonely, right? Yep. It's when he ain't gonna come in when you strong. When he's waiting for the weak moment. When you say yes, all of that, and so we got to be mindful of that as well. Somebody said, baby, listen, I swear when I had a hysterectomy, all that DNA was pulled out of me. Unbelievable. New birth. And Rodrick said, that's disgusting. That's funny.
Yuck.
And we got a yuck for Rod on that one. That is hilarious to me. That's hilarious. Yes, that's why they say you are the 5 people in your circle. If you are around broken, depressed people, that is what you will be, and vice versa. Positive, motivating, moving people as well. Somebody better plead the blood of Christ and override Tyrone DNA.
Can I say something to that last comment?
Yeah, come on.
Not the one before that, but the can you go back to
this one?
Yeah, here. Kind of agree with that, kind of don't, because honestly, like, if I'm around somebody that's depressed, like, honestly, I think I'm the one that's going to try to pour into you to bring your spirit up.
Yeah,
so You're not going to bring me down because you down. I'm not going to go to your pity party. That's yours. But I'm going to try to bring out of it, though, to the best of my ability. So, I mean, that kind of could be true, but I'm not.
No, that's exactly on. I think, and then they go on to say positive, motivating, and moving people. So you would be on the lines of the positive, motivating, and moving people, right? And so it depends on our strength at a time. So you're strong right now, but let grief hit you. You know what I mean? Like, you let grief hit you for real. Like somebody that you super love, be like, wait a minute now, what they was here today and they gone, and your mind isn't where it normally is, right? And so sometimes that's why we have to be careful about who we have around us. But to your point, yeah, like somebody can come around me that's depressed. I work with people who have all kinds of disabilities. I deal with people from schizophrenic to depressed, anxiety, all kinds of stuff, pulling all the way on my little psychology degree, right? And but I got to make sure that I'm so tapped into the Father, so I'm not taking all of that home with me. So yes, just because you're around somebody that's depressed doesn't mean you're gonna be depressed, but you got to be intentional that you don't got any holes where those types of things can seep in. Somebody better plead the blood. Oh, we already said that. And then, right, that person needs you to bring them out of their depression, right? So it kind of goes both ways. We're going to keep it moving because we are at the 9:30 hour, and I at least want to get this very last thing in, which is, can you answer these questions? And so this is a post that Stephen put up. It had a reach of about 269 folks, which is great in our group, because usually we're at about 1% of people who are engaging. And so these are some questions that Stephen posed. And so I'm going to pose it to you guys. And then you guys in the comments, if you want to answer the questions, feel free to do so. So the first question, I'll pose it to Felecia. Should you go to the other person's house or apartment alone for dinners or movie nights?
Yep.
Well, let me go back before I do that, because this is, so I want to preface where Stephen was coming from. He was talking about Christian dating, okay? And it was stemming from something that Tamel had talked about. So Tamel, he's a friend of Single Talk. He is the founder of Single Saved and No Kids. And so he had a post about that. And Stephen says, I think dating and saved, as many elephants, I don't know what he's saying with it. He wants to address, just dating as being Christian. And so then the first question again is, should you go to the other person's house or apartment alone for dinners or movie nights?
I did answer this question with the same yes that I'm going to give right now. And then too, just saying, it just kind of depends on where you are in your walk, right? I've been celibate and single for quite some time. Not saying that I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just, no, but I've been doing it for quite some time. So I set myself up. I have one girlfriend in particular. I will call her. I'm not even lying. All right, I'm going over to such and such and such, and we finna do such and such and such, and she will call me to hold me accountable. You back home yet? You good? You holding yourself together? What's going on? I have an accountability partner when I do see men. And then too, I just don't want to get into that kind of a situation. I make that very clear in the beginning when I talk to guys so that they know, and I want to make sure that they know my intention. I'm coming over here to actually watch a movie. If your hands get the movie, we're going to have a problem. So it just kind of depends. I feel very comfortable going over to a guy, so especially if I trust him and I know him, somebody I've been knowing for some time. So it's a yes for me, but be careful.
I like it. And I've actually heard, at least one of my friends has said before, that it's not that she don't trust the guy, she don't trust herself.
Hello.
Okay. She said that's why she's not sure about doing it. So I love that answer. So you guys go ahead and answer that question in the comments as well. Should you go to the other person's house or apartment alone for dinners or movie nights? Harmony, can you realistically take overnight trips together?
No. It also is because of the trust card. So can I trust myself and can I trust the other person? So overnight, and also it depends how far we are in the relationship. Has that communication been put out there? Yes, because for me, it's a no very early in the relationship. But if it is, let's say, a couple of months down the road, and for me, I have a deal breaker. So it's the no sex before marriage. That is a deal breaker. And if you however make any signs or whatever, we need to communicate. Why are we feeling this way? Why are we feeling this attractions? Like, where are we going with this? And then we draw back from things of like overnight trips or going over to the place until we feel comfortable with each other that we can both be at the same place about our feelings. So early in the relationship, no. And if it is later on in the relationship where we've addressed the issues, set our boundaries, the rules of engagements are set, it can be considered.
Ooh, that's rough. It's rough for me. Only because I'm of a particular age. I'm just of a particular age at 20. Okay, I'm 42.
Ma'am.
You know what I mean? And so I just feel like we ain't got to go overnight on the trip for us to fall. Right. But to Harmony's point, I do see how that would make it even more difficult if we're overnight in the same room and that type of thing. Woo, it's rough. But we're going to keep it moving. You guys answer that question in the comments. Can you realistically take overnight trips together? Rodrick Green. I'm sorry, my cousin. Is kissing okay?
Depends on how soon it is, I guess.
I'm asking for you. Is it okay?
So, is it okay? Yes. Like, yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
It depends on what
matter
you're talking about. What kind of
kiss?
kisses you talking about? What kind of kisses you talking about? First of all, like a straight tongue down or something? Like,
yeah, is that okay?
Yeah.
I gotta know you good enough for that, because I don't know. You might not brush your teeth. I don't know what you be doing. And I'm telling you what you did if you came to see me.
But we're not talking about just if they're dirty. We're talking about, is kissing okay, or will that open the door to you potentially, having sex or doing something that you didn't intend to do?
No, because you can look somebody deep in their eyes, and that can get you to that place. You know what I mean? Like, that connection is there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So a kiss ain't gonna do down mean nothing. You know what I mean?
Cousin, you better come with a little knowledge. Come on in here. All right, Felecia, and we're moving. So y'all put in the comments, is kissing okay? We want to know. Number 4, Felecia, does mutual... Whoa. I'm sorry.
Come on.
And my thing got big. Okay, hold on. Let me put it so I can see it. I don't even know how to answer this. This question seems... I'm going to read it as it says.
Okay.
Does mutual masturbation constitute as fornication? The mutual part is throwing me, but
yeah. So when I read this, I answered that I didn't know. I'm not sure.
Mutual.
First of all, my thing is this. Okay, if we mutually masturbating, at least the bottom half of the clothes is down.
Baby, for the mutual.
For the mutual. That means we both out here with the hand action. You understand me? So I'm gonna say I ain't gonna be able to be engaged.
Yeah, that's a no.
To me, because it will be real easy to be like, well, the pants already down. So we may as well go on get that thing, right? So
get that thing.
I don't think that. No, I don't think that's.
So is mutual masturbation like meaning, because that can be looked at in different ways, right? That can be like the fault of each other.
No, mutual masturbation, like your hand on her thing and my hand.
Oh, that's what that said?
That's what I thought.
You might as well go all the way in.
You might as well go all the way, because let me tell you, I ain't gonna go to the altar for masturbation. If I'm gonna go to the altar,
if I'm gonna come down here,
that's right.
I'm gonna come.
Then I'm gonna have done quite a few things, and it's gonna be beyond a hand.
If you can get that far and then you just stop, like
that
would champion.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense, but people weird. People are weird. They get off on strangeness, But I would say that to me, that's an easy no. That's an easy no, especially if we're thinking about in terms of dating and getting to know people.
Especially Christian dating.
Come on, what are we talking about, y'all? Is this really a thing? But this is the reason why Stephen got this, because he got this out of another Christian singles group.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know who came up with that question, but I don't know how they came up with that. I ain't never heard of that before.
Oh, it's a thing.
I've heard. Okay, but I've never had it posed in a question before. I would say that for sure. Usually, especially when you're in groups like this, it's usually the question is masturbation okay? Is that a sin? Is that wrong? And we actually did have a pastor come on to one of our single sessions, and he said no, that masturbation was not wrong. And if you watch any of the singles, you know what I'm talking about, Pastor Randolph. And he came on and he said it wasn't wrong. And then he was like, it's your thoughts and your mind. And he said, it's what you're thinking about. And then somebody was like, what I'm thinking about? Unicorns and rainbows? Like, of course it's going to be, the mind is going to be and not where it's supposed to be. So can you separate those? No, at least I can't, so anyhow, let's keep it moving. My goodness. Okay, Harmony, I don't know. Okay, let's see what it is. Okay, can you make plans to move in together if a wedding is closely approaching?
Wow. Okay, so I'm going to bring it home, South African terms. So being engaged means that we're in a process of paying the bride price. Okay, so our families are in agreement and we are in the negotiations of paying the bride price. Now, the bride price could be paid and that could be considered as being engaged. So then we would have to get the approval, I think, from our families to say we could live together. So if that was how our families set it up, we could make the plans. But because then custom-wise we are married, but we're not legally married as we've signed, but custom-wise we're married, so we could then move in together. But before the bride price, no.
Wow. No, well, let me see. What did you say? Did you say something, Felecia? I'm sorry, I looked away. Or was that you, Harmony? Okay. Can you make plans to move in together? It's for me. It's gonna go back to that's y'all business. I don't. I might. We engage. I don't know. I don't know though, because now I'm living in the house. I love you. We done said we about to get married. I may not be able to wait till the wedding day. We might have to stay. I might have to stay in mama house until it's time. Until it's time to move forward. Yes, so no. And the last one, Rodrick, before we go to the comments, do you try to start going to the other person's church?
Just. If I'm invited, I'll go check it out because you want to see, what they're like spiritually, what the spiritual foundation, I should say. So I would go if invited.
Yeah, I would go if invited. So but that is always a thought of mine. Like if I find someone or we find each other, and then there's a love, and we decide we want to get married, who church we going to? Like, what if I want to leave my church?
Hello.
Like that's a thing. Because then you're leaving your pastors and you might really feel connected to them. Well, I'm like, Lord, that's a rough one. I think it can be rough if you're in a place where you really, really love your church family. But I don't know. I would probably follow my husband if I'm honest.
It's like a clique or a gang. Like you can't do both. You're going to one or the other. No, it's like what if you alternate, or you know what I'm saying? Like
I guess
a compromise. You know what I mean?
I guess you could.
Question: are the values the same?
I guess it depends. Yeah, I don't know. I would think, that they are equally yoked. So maybe there are similar values. I think the issue becomes because I'm always thinking from a leadership standpoint, right? And so if I'm a leader in my church, and then going back and forth, sometimes that can be a bit of a challenge, So, but again, listen. I'm gonna follow my husband. That's what I'm gonna say. Where he wanna go, I will follow. Okay, let's see these comments right quick. Okay, hold on. How do I take this banner off real quick? Boom. Okay, like so. Comments. We'll do this, and then we're gonna be done for the night because it's getting late. Right. That person needed to bring. Okay. Put your hands where my eyes can see. I don't know what that was about. What was that one about?
That's from a song. From a song.
It's lyrics.
Yeah, but I was wondering where that comment came from.
The mutual.
Oh, yes. Can't wait to be on the show. Love these talks. Who said that? They could be on the show. You could be on next month. I was about to say next week, and then I was like, no, that's a lie. Shaking my head. We traveling and seeing the world. Doesn't have to be sex involved. That's so basic. That's how I feel at 42.
Yep.
That's how I honestly, even when I was younger, like I can have relationship and not everything be sexual. Yeah. I'm with you, but it depends. You got to know you got to know the person. You got it's on y'all. Listen, okay. Oh, here go Tamel. We all on your post, Tamel. He says, I think it's cool to spend time at at each other's house and go on trips together. You really get to know a lot about each other on road trips and spending time with each other. I agree.
Yep.
We always talk about you can't shack up. I mean, when you gonna spend time with somebody so you can see how they are. I want to go bowling. Oh my God, Griff said Felecia about that Netflix and chill ministry. Emphasis on the chill. You don't know Felecia. Okay. Somebody said, I hate people acting like you don't know me that well. Okay, yeep. Somebody said yeep depend on a lot. Your strength, communication, their strength. I don't know which one that was about. That was probably something to do with that travel. I think it was the travel part. Tamel said kissing is definitely okay.
Agreed.
I think it depends. I'm gonna kiss.
Hello.
That's all I'm gonna say, but then I'm gonna keep it moving. Wait, Tamel said tongue and everything. Wait a minute, Elder Brown.
No, see, you gonna mess around and do some stuff here. I've been doing all that tongue. I'm telling you.
Listen,
you run into the right one.
Elder Brown is it. I think if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. Elder Brown is okay with premarital sex. I'm just saying. This is what I've seen. So Omar said it's okay as long as you have self-control. But see, that's the thing.
Yes.
We keep thinking we have self-control, and sometimes we don't. All right. And that's the thing. You gotta. And I think the other side of it is you don't want your good to be evil spoken of. So you do have to consider. What role are you in ministry, leadership, your children, who's watching, all of these things. But you're like, just travel, girl. Get your life. Griff says, well, it depends on the person and level of sexual attraction to them. I'm not setting myself up to accidentally create a D. What is this D appointment?
No, that's me.
I know what it is, but he keeps saying the D appointment. I'm like, I'm going to be very intentional about my movement. We're keeping it moving. Single MSB masturbation is fornication. But what about mutual? No, I'm just kidding. Mutual, what are they doing at the same time? Listen, Omar, we don't know. We don't know what they're doing. We don't know what. Listen, Lord bless, don't let us give nobody no ideas to go practice nothing tonight. And we're moving. I think that means bumping and grinding and clothes like middle school. First of all, I am not about to be petty.
You mean humping? Not humping.
Oh Lord. Heavy petting. Oh my goodness.
Up and grind like R. Kelly.
Lord, somebody said, oh. If you are both masturbating, you might as well. Tamel, now listen, my brother, I'm in agreement. Listen, no, I ain't going to the altar for that. Mutual masturbation, that sounds like phone sex. Well, it probably is a form of it for sure. So she's giving me okay, I'm gonna keep going. I'm down with the kissing. I have a PhD in it. You said that a few times, Omar. Okay, that's that vitamin D, baby. Y'all, did they answer any of the other questions? Did we talk about going to church? Nobody commented on if they was gonna go to the other person's church. Okay, what about the movie night? Can we talk about the movie nights? Y'all out here, bless your people, Jesus. Well, you guys, we have come to the end of another single session. We're a little bit about 20 minutes over. Thank you for hanging with us. And thank you to our guest, Felecia, to Harmony, to Rodrick, to each of you. It has been so absolutely amazing. And again, to Stephen, My goodness, we're so sad that you couldn't join us, but we felt you because most of the posts that we went off of were things that you posted. So we're thinking about you. We're praying for you. And we're thinking about you guys too, those that are watching. We're praying for you. You guys have an amazing night. I was about to do a Tabitha Brown, but I'm not. That's her business. You guys go and have an amazing night. And we'll be back next month with another single sessions. Love you guys. Any parting words for the people? Want to encourage somebody.
Yes.
Everybody like,
Happy
no.
birthday, Felecia.
Thank you.
It's Thursday for me.
I love it. Before we go, though, again, just for those people who joined a little bit later, at least tell the folks how they can get connected to you and the different stuff that you're doing, either on Instagram or Facebook. Felecia, why don't you start?
Absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram, on YouTube, and you can also find me on Facebook. There's a Facebook group specifically called the Single Parent Summit. So if you are a single mom and you want to get connected to the community, you can go ahead and look that up, and we will be absolutely ecstatic to have you in the group. Again, on YouTube, and then also on Instagram, the Single Parent Summit.
Love it. Harmony, where can they find you?
On Single Talk South Africa, that's where I am. For everybody else that is not in the USA and in the African continent, definitely you'll find me there. Have my personal Instagram as well, so it's Harmony Botya. I'm there having fun, sharing everything with everybody else, and also on Instagram. And yeah, lovely.
Love it, love it. And Rodrick, how can they connect with you? Get that motivation on I don't know if you do it Mondays or every day. Yeah.
I do it, when the spirit moves.
When you feel it.
Yeah. But you can find me at Rodrick Lamar, which is the name I have on the screen. On Facebook, Motivational Path to Greatness, which is something that I started, but Motivational Path to Greatness on Instagram. Also, I do have an online store where I sell large size shoes, and that's Big Feet Heat 14 or bigfeetheat.com for the website.
And he's single because he said he had a big shoe size. Go ahead, cousin. Go ahead and make your little point on the side. I heard you. No, listen, we're all single. Listen, don't be scared. Shoot your shot. Yes. Okay, just because you see everybody on here, we were in this community, but it doesn't mean that you can't connect with people. And it doesn't always have to be, hey, I want to, let's go on a date. If you found something interesting, this is your icebreaker. I saw you on the live and I wanted to ask you about, okay? And so I love you guys so much. And again, we will see you next month and sooner in the group. All right, talk to them. Time to go to sleep. Talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.